Hi everybody, it's Cathryn from In the Pink Designs. My project today is using the Hugs for Love bundle. This is the To The Point label punch and the Hugs for Love stamp set in the catalog, which I can show you now because it's live. You can also get another stamp set that coordinates with this punch called Bright Borders. And it's really pretty. It has some sentiments and a bunch of nice borders on there. All right, so that's it. I'm not using any dies or anything. This is a pretty simple box. I used scraps only for it. So you can definitely get 2 out of each sheet of cardstock, but I just used my scraps and I had enough. It opens like this, but if you don't want to have it open like this, you can tie it around this part of the, around this top of the box, and put a Velcro dot there. It will fit a Reese's peanut butter cup, a lot of the fun size things, the peppermint patty, and I would say it would fit 2 Ghirardelli squares in there. All right, so perfect for school giveaways, office, or just friends, family, neighbors. All right, so what we need for this is a piece of real red that is 7 by 5, and then another piece to stamp and punch out your label. I'm using the Most Adored Retired DSP, 2 pieces that are 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and 4 that are 1/2 by 2 1/4, and the box itself measures 2 1/2 by 2 1/2 by 3/4. All right, let's get my Simply Scored. And this is a relatively easy box. You can use this for beginners, or if you're a beginner. All right, so we're going to start on the 7-inch side, score at 1/2, 3, 3 3/4, and 6 1/4. Turn it to the 5-inch side and score at 3/4, 3 1/4, and 4. Okay, so how we have this is a 1/2 inch strip there, 3/4 there, and a 1-inch strip at the top. And this is what we're going to be doing. All right, so let's start down over here. Go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge up into that 1/2 inch rectangle. Go to the next 2 score lines and cut them to the first score line, and then wedge both sides of the square. Go to that last score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge both sides of that square. Okay, now turn it so that the 1/2 inch rectangle is over here. Go to the first score line, cut it to the second score line, take off the rectangle and wedge the square. Okay, go to the next 2 score lines and cut them to the second score line. Take off the rectangle and wedge the square. Now we're going to take these 4 pieces off, go just below the score line, and then wedge up a little into that 1/2 inch rectangle on the other side. All right, and then this here 1-inch piece is our top flap, so we're going to round the corners of that. All right, and that's what your cardstock should look like when you're done. All right, we're going to get some tear-in tape and put it on what's left of that 1/2 inch rectangle right next to the score line. Peel off the backing with my Take Your Pick tool. I'm just going to roll the extra tape back onto the cardstock. All right, and then I'm going to flip it over and then fold over the sides to meet. This is our back with the seam. So just put a little bit on the sides and pull the back flap first and then finish with the front flap. And that's your box. Alright, now we need our DSP. The two large pieces are going on the front and the back, and then all the sides get the small pieces. Alright, so let's let that dry and we'll do our stamping. So we need a scrap of real red, and I'm using the border, this one right here, and the Happy Valentine's Day. So you need a scrap to use for your embossing powder. Put this on top. Get some Versamark ink. And then sprinkle some white embossing powder. And now I'm going to use the heat tool. Okay, I'm just going to let that cool off, and I forgot that we needed another piece of basic white here. That for this sentiment we need a piece that is 2 1/4 by 3/4. So I'll do the 3/4 first. And then 2 1/4. And then we need some real red ink and the Happy Valentine's Day sentiment. And try to get this right in the middle. Okay, now this should be cooled off, and I'm going to use my To the Point label punch. Great. Alright, and then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of the label. And I'm going to put this right in the middle. Try to get the same amount of label hanging off. Alright, now we need our box. You put your peanut butter cup or whatever it is you're going to put in. And I'm going to take some of the iridescent striped ribbon and tie a bow around the top to bottom side. Alright, and then we're going to put dimensionals on the back of our label. And I'm just going to put this right in the middle. Okay, and for the final touch, I'm going to be using some Rhinestone Basic Jewels. And I'm going to put a medium one right there, a small one right there, and another small one right over here. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe and hit the like button. And all my info is below. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.